Good evening. This is Akashvani. I'm Renuka with the world news. The headlines. United Nations chief hails India-EU free trade deal, stresses need to support multi-polarity for stable world. New Delhi to host second India-Arab foreign ministers meeting tomorrow to strengthen partnership in 5 priority sectors. US President Donald Trump nominates Kevin Warsh as next Federal Reserve chairman. Israel announces that it will reopen Gaza's border crossing with Egypt on Sunday. And in tennis, Novak Djokovic to face world number 1 Carlos Alcaraz in men's single title clash of Australian Open on Sunday. And now the news in detail. Citing the Free Trade Agreement FTA sealed between India and the EU recently, United Nations Chief Antonio Guterres has emphasized the need to support multipolarity, emphasizing that global problems will not be solved by one power. The UN chief stressed the need to support multipolarity for a stable world in which peace can be sustained. Mr. Guterres also emphasized that global structures and institutions must reflect the complexity and the opportunity of the new times and realities. The second India-Arab foreign ministers meeting will be held in New Delhi tomorrow. The meeting will be co-chaired by India and the UAE. Foreign ministers of Arab League member states and Arab League Secretary General will participate in the meeting. This is the first India-Arab foreign ministers meeting to be hosted by India in New Delhi. It will see participation by all 22 Arab countries. The meeting is taking place after a gap of 10 years. The first meeting was held in Bahrain in 2016, where the ministers identified 5 priority verticals of cooperation. These are economy, energy, education, media, and culture. Our correspondent reports that the second India-Arab foreign ministers meeting is expected to build on existing cooperation, expanding and deepening this partnership.
India has traditionally enjoyed close and friendly relations with the Arab world. These relations date back to ancient times. Traders, scholars and diplomats would often traverse the Arabian Sea and the land routes linking India to West Asia and the Arab Peninsula, transferring knowledge and merchandise. Today, the nations of Arab League are part of India's extended neighborhood. The League of Arab States was formed in Cairo on 22nd March 1945. Currently, the League has 22 member states, including countries from North Africa and West Asia. It has a number of observer states, including Armenia, Brazil, Greece, India and Venezuela. The aim of the League is to strengthen and coordinate the political, cultural, economic and social programs of its members and to mediate disputes among them or between them and third parties. Suparna Saikya, Akashvani News, Delhi.
The India AI Impact Summit 2026 will be held at Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi from 16th to 20th of February this year. The summit will be the first global AI summit to be hosted in the Global South. The objective of the summit is to enable global democratization of artificial intelligence and bridging the AI divide as well as support the development of indigenous and local AI solutions. It will also focus on development of AI for good solutions across healthcare, agriculture and governance, among others, and aligning global standards and models of AI governance and innovation to the needs of the developing world. Addressing a press conference in New Delhi today, Union Minister for Electronics and Information Technology Ashwini Vaishnaw said that the India AI Impact Summit has received a phenomenal response from across the world and is shaping up to be the biggest AI summit so far globally.
The summit has got phenomenal response. This is going to be the 4th and the biggest AI summit so far in the entire world. The response from practically 100 countries, the number of heads of state and government, already 15 confirmations received, and the industry has responded so well. More than 100 CEOs are joining us in the Impact Summit.
This is Akashvani. You are listening to World News. We bring you the top international news and updates from around the globe. US President Donald Trump today nominated former Federal Reserve Governor Kevin Warsh as his preferred successor to current Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell. In a social media post, President Trump announced that he is nominating Kevin Warsh to serve as chairman of the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System. In his post, Trump backed Warsh, saying he believes Warsh would go down as one of the great Fed chairmen. The announcement comes days after the Federal Reserve voted to hold interest rates steady, with Chair Jerome Powell defending the importance of the central bank's independence. Trump has repeatedly criticized Powell for not cutting interest rates quickly enough. U.S. President Donald Trump has said he will open up all commercial airspace over Venezuela and Americans will soon be able to visit that country. Trump said he instructed his Transportation Secretary, Sean Duffy, and U.S. military leaders to take steps to open the airspace. He said American citizens will very shortly be able to go to Venezuela and they will be safe there.
Very shortly able to go to Venezuela, and they'll be safe there. They'll be safe. It's under very strong control. And the people formerly of Venezuela, some want to go back to visit, and they're going to be able to do that. So I've instructed Sean Duffy and everybody else concerned, including the military, that if you would, by the end of today, I'd like you to have the airspace over Venezuela. Planes can go to Venezuela opened up.
Israel today announced that it will reopen Gaza's border crossing with Egypt in both directions over the weekend, allowing Palestinians to enter and leave the territory after nearly 2 years of closure. The Israeli military body in charge of coordinating aid to Gaza, COGAT, today said in a statement that only limited movement of people would be allowed. Both Israel and Egypt will vet individuals for exit and entry through the crossing, which will be supervised by European Union Border Patrol agents. Palestinians who left Gaza during the war will be allowed to return upon getting Israeli security clearance. Israel had resisted reopening the crossing, but the recovery of the remains of the last hostage in Gaza on Monday cleared the way to move forward. Kremlin today said that Russian President Vladimir Putin has agreed to a personal request from U.S. President Donald Trump to halt strikes on Kyiv until February the 1st to create favorable conditions for peace talks. U.S. President Donald Trump yesterday said that Mr. Putin had agreed to refrain from firing on Kyiv and other Ukrainian cities for a week because of cold weather, but did not say when that period would expire. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky welcomed the initiative and stated that Ukraine will reciprocate by not striking Russian energy infrastructure if Russia halts its attack on Ukraine's power grid. The Bangladesh Hindu-Buddhist Christian Unity Council has accused the government of grossly under-reporting communal violence, claiming at least 522 incidents occurred across the country in 2025, far higher than the 71 acknowledged, officially raising serious concerns ahead of the February the 12th parliamentary election. At a press conference in Dhaka, the minority rights group said the incidents resulted in 66 deaths and included 28 cases of violence against women, 95 attacks on places of worship, and more than 100 attacks on minority homes and businesses. In tennis, Novak Djokovic will face world number 1 Carlos Alcaraz in the men's singles title clash of Australian Open on Sunday. In the first semi-final match of men's singles today, Spaniard Alcaraz defeated Alexander Zverev of Germany in 5 sets, 6-4, 7-6, 6-7, 6-7, 7-5 at the Rod Laver Arena to make maiden Australian Open final. Novak Djokovic of Serbia clinched a stunning victory over Jannik Sinner in the second semi-final to enter the 11th Australian Open final of his career. Djokovic bounced back from being a set down twice to defeat Italian Sinner 3-6, 6-3, 4-6, 6-4, 6-4. Djokovic is aiming for a record-breaking 25th Grand Slam singles title. In women's single, world number 1 Arina Sabalenka will clash with Elena Rybakina in the final match at Melbourne Park tomorrow. And now, before we close, here are the highlights of the bulletin. United Nations chief hails India-EU free trade deal, stresses need to support multi-polarity for stable world. New Delhi to host second India-Arab foreign ministers meeting tomorrow to strengthen partnership in 5 priority sectors. US President Donald Trump nominates Kevin Warsh as next Federal Reserve chairman. Israel announces that it will reopen Gaza's border crossing with Egypt on Sunday. And in tennis, Novak Djokovic to face world number 1 Carlos Alcaraz in men's singles title clash of Australian Open on Sunday. That concludes tonight's World News Bulletin. For more updates, stay tuned to Akashvani. Good night.